feast of Christ the King, and the last Sunday of ordinary time. So next Sunday, we will begin Advent and a new liturgical season. And also, it's this week in our country, the United States, it's the celebration of Thanksgiving. I am not sure that most of our country knows for what are they grateful. The feast day has become horizontal. I'm grateful to my customers. I'm grateful to... It's actually a vertical feast of being grateful to the giving God. So that the feast of Christ the King and Thanksgiving somehow go together. It's a vertical feast in which we celebrate a kind of strange king. Maybe a couple of examples. In our North American culture, the northern part of it, northern hemisphere, things have given up their lives. Vegetation. The seeds have fallen into the ground and died to being seeds, and so have become corn and wheat and beans. Creation itself is interesting. I found out this week that the earth is over 14 billion years old from creation, and at its beginning, believe it or not, and I don't know much science, but there was no carbon, so there was no life. And stars burning out in creation, stars dying, created carbon. And the carbon fell into the universe and was captured by this planet called Earth. And it's from carbon, from the dying stars, that there is life. Bones and trees and animals. So there is a dying in order that there be life. And we are grateful in this country to this God who gives the seed of divinity into the human race in his Son. In today's gospel he says, "For this was I born." I was born to give my life. Like a dying star, like a seed into the earth, I have come to be planted in the earth. And the cross is a symbol of that being planted, but he says, I was born for this. I was born to be planted in the earth. Now, the gospel today is a little discussion, kind of a little court scene between Pilate and Jesus. Jesus is the accused and he is his own defense. And Pilate is kind of a king and wants to be even more ruler. So he's in a political pickle. He doesn't want anything going awry. So he must put down all kinds of disturbances. For what was Jesus born? And the discussion is, why are you here? Pilate says to him, what have you done? And Jesus says, I have come to reacquaint the Jews about who they are. I have come that they may have life as Jews, and they have rejected the seed. They do not want to take life in me. And they are upset at what I have called them back to do, to be people of God. And they didn't like that I was telling them how they should be and who they are. So that's why I'm here. I'm here because they don't like me. But are you the king of the Jews? Well, I'm not the commander. And this is what we're celebrating, the kingship of Jesus. He's not one who gives commands. You do this or else. It's not the finger of appointing, or pointing, but appointing. Not accusing, but inviting. And what he is saying is, the Jewish people are bigger than they know. They are the people of God. And I am born to let them know. And I will bury myself in them. I will bury myself in the earth. My kingship is that human beings will find their glory, their title, their name, their kingdom in the vertical, in the relationship with the creating God, with the God that says, I want to tell you who you are. So that my kingship is not of this world, not like you know kings. I have come not to condemn, but I am handed over, not to you, Pilate, but I am handed over to the whole people of God, the new Jewish people, the new people of God. And I will die to prove how loving I am towards all my people, so that the relationship that God has is not commanding. What is God's will is that Jesus be servant king, that Jesus, who walked the earth giving life, will bury himself in the earth, that the earth may have life like the eternal seed giving life Jesus is. So the kingship of Jesus is not imperial or power. It's inviting those of the kingdom to know that all life is both a process of vertical receiving, horizontal distributing, horizontally being grateful for what is, but being grateful for the giving God, the handing over God. And it's quite a courtly scene. Do we let Jesus be king? No, because we are too confined to what king is. Can we let Jesus be divine seed, burying himself in each of us? That we participate not in his dominion, but in his receptivity. His love for us distributed. And it is a good Sunday to prepare for our Feast of Thanksgiving. Can we both be grateful for who's around us at this table of plenty, if that's possible? Look around. These are the people who are some way a revelation of God's love. And I am charged with that same divine seed to extend his kingship beyond this table. So it is a horizontal celebration of Christ the King, because he came down, he was born, and he distributed his life, and he handed over his life not to Pilate, but to us. We receive that divine seed, that divine life-giving carbon, that we might live the few moments in this 4 billion year old kingdom, that we have our little chance, few moments, to be life-giving divine carbon in the lives of others. We receive it, we distribute it, we give you thanks by the way we live.